Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Tejano Traveler. I'm your host Wally, and today we are on the Texas Tropical Trail, deep in the south at Estero Llano Grande State Park near Weslaco, Texas. And as you arrive at this park, you start seeing some of the estuaries that are formed here. We are pretty close to the Gulf, so the water just start mixing with the waters of the Rio Grande, and it ends up forming estuaries. That's what um, estero means. And while you're here, you can definitely see some birds. It is part of the World Birding Sites. So that's a collection of about 9 different sites in the Rio Grande Valley that showcase all the different birds that like to come here and hang out during certain parts of the year. But as you can see, there's plenty of wetlands for all these birds to come and relax. There's a great egret just waiting for a nice little frog to pass by. So it's pretty cool to just be able to see some of these birds up close. I'm always a big sucker for all these snowy egrets and great egrets. I like seeing them in action. I like seeing them just fly around. And even though probably by this point I've seen over 100 of them, I still really get excited when I see one. For example, this snowy egret with its black beak and yellow slippers. I could have stared at him forever and just enjoyed life. But that's what this place here is for. It's for all the animals to come here and do their thing, relax, feel safe from any predators or humans out there. And while you're walking around, you can sort of take some of the trails. You can go up to I think this is like a levee. You go up there because it's definitely man-made. It's not not a natural feature, but you go up there and you see the other side where the river is, where the estuaries are, and you can see a lot of the birds just hanging out, nesting, doing bird things. So this is a very bird-centric park. So if you like birds, definitely visit this place. You can see those roseate spoonbills, which I always seem to see from far away. I never get to see them up close. It was a pretty windy day, so most of the birds weren't really flying around. They were just hanging out, just tolerating the wind. Now, it is a state park, so there are some hiking trails that you can take. They have some old buildings that you can go to, see some of those ruins. And I just wonder what this ruin was like, just somebody's house, just right on the river. I guess if you're into that, I mean, that was your thing back then. Live right next to the river in the middle of nowhere by the levee. Go for it. But the trails are pretty easy to navigate, and it's all pretty much packed in together, so you don't feel the pain that I usually feel by just walking and walking endlessly. They do have a boardwalk, and you can see some of the animal tracks on the side, so definitely there's some mammals here that hide during the day, but at night they're pretty active, and that's proof of them. But I always like seeing boardwalks in these places because I just always want people who have mobility issues to be able to get around the state park. So seeing a nice boardwalk makes you feel like they've been thinking about people with wheelchairs and stuff. And it's not just a tiny part of the park; they have them all over, so that's kind of cool. Plus, you get to see some ponds and look around and see some of the grasses and just imagine what kind of birds would live there. Here's some more boardwalk action, which, like I said, I'm pretty happy about. The only thing I didn't like is that it was kind of overcast, and a lot of the cool colors that you usually see at a state park don't really pop out of when you're sort of hiking on overcast days. But at least you get to see some of the birds and the ducks. Now, when I talk about birding, I'm mostly sticking to birds that I can easily identify. And for some reason, wait a minute, look at that grass. Beautiful grass. Anyways, ducks are very difficult for me to tell apart for some reason. So I usually leave ducks out of my list. I don't like ducks. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along with me to these parks, and I hope you get to visit some of them. Leave a comment. Bye bye.